Hi everyone! Today we're going to talk about the illogicalities and what's up with Season 2 of Squid Game. You know, the first season had us hooked with suspense and cleverly written plots, but Season 2? Well, that's a bit complicated. Let's get started. First of all, would you join the Squid Game? Write me if you really would. In Season 2, Gi-hun returns on a mission to end Squid Game once and for all. The series was originally a one-season series, but it was such a big hit that Netflix immediately ordered a second season. Moreover, big Season 2 promotions were held all over the world. You may have seen Squid Game soldiers on the subway in Istanbul. Season 2 consists of 7 episodes, and Season 3 will come in 2025. With Season 3, the series will be finalized. Season 2 is very inadequate compared to Season 1. Season 1 was definitely better in terms of content. I'll touch on all the bullshit one by one in a moment. Our main character, Gi-hun, had won the game and had a huge fortune. But he starts using his fortune to find the founders of the game who caused so many people to die. He searches everywhere for the bad guys and finds them. So what happens when he finds them? He says, "Let me play one more round of the game," and he joins the Squid Game again. He's going to go to this island that nobody can find, and he's going to take down the organization from the inside. But guess what he does? He joins the games. In the very first game, he says he's won the grand prize there before. He shocks everybody, but nobody comes and asks, "What is this place? Who are these people? What do you know about this place? What games were there before?" They just ask at the beginning of the second game, "What's the next game?" And when they see a different game, they don't ask any more questions. At least make an inference from the games. Let's talk about the illogical confusion of the games. In Squid Game, the games are expected to be brutal and creative, but the games in this season were written with the thought of, how much can we surprise the audience? For example, the episode where they play a kind of hide-and-seek or corner-catching game on a giant spinning cylinder. Okay, I accept the excitement, but it's not clear what's being measured when you have people running around randomly. Is it strategy, endurance, or pure luck? The main character's sudden change of heart is another thing. Remember what Gi-hun went through in the first season? He was traumatized, but in the second season, he's like, "Whatever, I'll go back to the old days." Character development? What's that? It's nothing. What's even funnier is that Gi-hun is so adamant about not participating in the games again, but then he gets a phone call and suddenly he's like, "Okay, I'll participate again." His motivation is so weak that even the audience is like, "Really? This is not a vindictive, intelligent, physically strong man." That he wins the games is partly because of the people he's close to, and mostly luck. Gi-hun is a very ordinary man, that's why we like him. We see again in Season 2 how mindless he is. Seriously, why this guy is back to Squid Game to finish the games, he has no motivation. You will say that his friends died, but this is a man who is already in gambling debts, who cannot even be a proper father to his daughter who is separated from his wife due to his bad habits. And as if that was not enough, he robbed his sick old mother. I think his motivation is very low. Let me underline. This man left the game in the first game, and then came back again on his own will. Just for money? When he got the money, he had no purpose in life, and he may have aimed to destroy this organization as a new purpose. Let's talk about another absurdity. The new characters are too cartoonish. Do you remember the characters from the first season? Each of them had a deep story and pain. But what did they give us in the second season? 3 or 5 new characters who are like caricatures, one-dimensional. For example, the classic rich, narcissistic, and ready to sell out anyone. The audience sees them and says, I've seen this 10 times before. For example, the old villain with the biggest debt of the entire cast appeared very often, and yet we learned almost nothing about him. They focused a lot on Thanos, the pill-popping rapper, but all we know about him is that he's a rapper, a pill popper, and a big money loser with cryptocurrency. Funny and exaggerated conspiracy theories is another story. In one scene, it is implied that the VIPs organizing the games are actually a secret cult controlling the world economy. Really? I mean, they take people's lives through bloody games, but at the same time they are thinking about the stock market index. Would those guys invest the money they would spend on these games? Would those guys throw money away like that? In the end, there is no trace of the simple but effective storytelling of the first season. Playgrounds are also overpriced, but there is no work in the games. The spaces in the first season were minimalist but impressive. Just a staircase could create tension, but in this season, the scenes are like cartoons. What was that, for example? A color-changing holographic arena? Yes, it may be dazzling, but it feels like a mockery of the audience. Moreover, compared to the bloody games in the first season, this season's games were really merciful. Where is the glass balcony? Where is the rope game? Please remember, these games are what the show is all about. It was those deadly games and the struggle for survival that made us love the show so much. When you make these games so simple, the show loses its magic. By the way, Season 3 has already been shot. So they don't have a chance to take the negative reviews and make corrections in the last season? It's time to tell you about the greatest stupidity of the mindless 456. Do you remember the uncle from the first season? Then he was the one who was behind everything. What was the uncle's number? Look at the actor who appeared as 001 again in Season 2. Man, if he was a baby, he'd be suspicious. Doesn't it ever occur to you that there might be a spy among the players like last time? Especially, I should be more cautious with 001. In other words, 001 uncle has gone and 001 charismatic brother has come instead. Squid Game Season 2 is definitely not up to the level of the first season. Illogical events, exaggerated locations, and sloppy character development unfortunately disappoint the audience. But still, if you want to make fun of absurd details and criticize with pleasure, it is a storehouse of material. The first season was aimed at adults. This season seemed to be aimed at a general audience. There was a lot of nonsense, from fights between the players to interference by the management. Moreover, our Gi-hun, number 456, who volunteered to rejoin the games so that people don't die, willingly let a lot of people die just to get to the quarterbacks. And the villain, Secret Agent 001, even said so. Now that we think about it, these guys all came here on purpose, and they get big cash prizes for successfully passing the games. And this time, there is a new rule. After each game, a vote is taken, and if a majority is reached, the games are ended. The money earned until then is divided among the players. So, what is the human being? He is greedy. He always wants more and more, and so it is. This is the last, they can't get enough. Then this girl also bothered me. She participates in the games while pregnant and enters the team formed by 456 saying, "I'm pregnant, take me in." Everyone treats her very well. As the episodes progress, they are even nice to her ex-boyfriend who got her pregnant and ran away. But for some reason, she is always mean to that old lady. There is no reason. As I said, you cannot rationalize why the characters do what they do. Let's talk about my favorite player. Hyunju is a former Special Forces soldier who joins the game to earn money for gender reassignment surgery. She was subjected to social ostracization and was dismissed. The show doesn't even show this information about her until the last moment. However, there could have been flashbacks about her previous life. Actually, this is the main problem of the series. We don't know the actors, they don't introduce them. That's why we can't connect with the actors this season. The character Hyunju stands out in the game for her courage and leadership qualities. He supports the weaker players and rebels against the controllers of the game together with the protagonist Gi-hun. Squid Game Season 2 is definitely not bad, but if you make a second season like this when the first season was so excellent, you shouldn't expect us to like it. After the second season, I rewatched the first season, and even though I knew the games and the events, I was much more excited and nervous than in the second season. So, as a result, we waited 3 years for this new season. 3 years? Is that all you've done? And there was a policeman, he was shot last time. A man finds him at sea, takes him on his ship, and rescues him. Then the cop and the sailor who saved him are always looking for the secret island of Squid Game. Man, don't you ever think, who is this guy who saved me? What was he doing here? Is he trustworthy? Don't you ever investigate? Friends, whatever you do, don't trust anyone. My prediction for the next season is that the man in the black mask joined the competition as 001 to give the viewers a different show. Moreover, as we saw in the Season 2 finale, he wanted Gi-hun to experience the feeling of causing the death of many people, including his best friend, with his wrong decisions. We still haven't seen things from the perspective of Squid Game soldiers in red uniforms. If the cop realizes that the guy who saved him is the bad guy, he will definitely kill him. He will find the island. He comes to where the games are being played, kills his brother, goes to the VIP's room, kills them too, and the series ends. And in the finale, we see that in another place, by other people, the games are restarted, and again someone joins the games. Even the previous players can join. After all, people always want more money. And if it were you, would you join? I've tried to avoid spoilers as much as possible, but there might be some in between. So what do you think? Do you like this season? Who is your favorite? Let's meet in the comments.